Hey, Bisquera here, digital marketing strategist. I wanted to share a few things based upon a question that was asked in Traffic Inner Circle, and this can apply to any. I guess that the answers here I'm going to provide can apply to any um, ad traffic strategy or network. Anytime you're doing paid traffic, the number one thing I believe in, and everybody that's in the profession of digital marketing and conversion optimization, is that if you're not using UTM parameters on your links that you send traffic to, I implore you to institute that into your analysis procedures, because you need to be able to study and analyze the traffic to be able to improve, to optimize, and ultimately down the road improve conversions. So UTM, it was asked, you want to add the UTM code to the landing page and link. Not sure if that's a problem. Well, I'm going to tell you what I do, and I don't know if it's necessarily a problem to me because it provides a lot of data. So let me take you from the beginning. So if I have a traffic fuel client, if I have a client that has traffic needs and we build a traffic funnel or a cold or retargeting funnel in an ad network, in this case, traffic fuel, this is how we set it up. So this is where we start. We have what we call this our campaign build worksheet for any. This is an agnostic approach to planning out the traffic buy and the build of a multi-stage retargeting funnel or the 10x retargeting funnel, for example. I set this up so that I can organize the process of getting ads done. So, of course, one of the tools we use is Ad Kahuna, and now we're applying the same strategy in this process to add video, or in other words, video ads, because we use multiple tools. Anyways, the point of the spreadsheet helps me organize getting the ads and setting up all the details that go into the ad so that it's recorded. I just record things like headline, any design notes, what's the messaging or what's it about. So this is the 3 ads in the banner set 1, so days 0 through 2. So the first part of a 10x retargeting funnel, in our case it's 11x. I call it 11x because I screwed up and made 11 spots instead of 10. I stuck with 11, plus I'm a big Spinal Tap fan. 11 is greater than 10, so we believe our retargeting funnel is better. That's just the reason why I went to 11. Really, it's 11 because I made a mistake and I didn't want to change it. So, which makes it a little bit more work for us, or for me. But anyways, so I have it where I kind of storyboard or just plan out everything before we dump it into our ad network, because, folks, we might be building this for traffic fuel, but we might be also inserting and using a lot of the same creative in Facebook, or we're using the same approach to build out this in Google AdWords and RLSA and in-market outing. I mean, we have other different ways we do retargeting and remarketing. So by building this in this way, we can use the same ads for other usage. So let me pause to get a drink. 1 second. Hold on. My voice is hurting. A lot of talking today. So what we do is, we organize through, and I don't know if you can see, hopefully you guys can see this on screen, why we have a process and organize it this way. We go ahead and put the original landing page URL. When we put it here and then we add these fields here, this field, what my spreadsheet automatically does is it builds the URL. See, I programmed it in over here to pull in the fields and blah, 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 and it does it. So, oops, it changed it. So I have it unlocked right now so that I can show all this. But what it does is it creates this final URL. I copy that and I go to Bitly and I create a short URL. That's what I use when I build my traffic fuel campaign. And the reason why I know it works, even though it says not to, this is what I'm doing. I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying this is how I guarantee that my UTM parameters on the end URL gets recorded in analytics. Because if you think about it, if they click on the link, so let me show you that ad. So they see this ad. Oops. They see the ad, one of the ads here. They click on this link. Well, they click on the ad and it drives them through this URL, the short link. And remember, I go to Bitly and I add the long link from here. It's still a little bit of a manual process. I've been in the process of trying to create automated where it automatically integrates with Bitly from Google Sheets or Excel and automatically pulls in my Bitly link. It creates a Bitly link in Bitly and then drops in the Bitly link over here into this field. There's a way to do that and pull it, but I don't want to talk about it right now. Anyways, so long story short, you put the long link in here, you get the short Bitly link here. You can customize it too if you want, but I just kept it with automatic. It was done in Bitly. What it does, that's what you put over here. So that's the Bitly link. What it does is it drives the data into analytics so that you see it over here. Is it here? RTB. Okay, so right here, I know that if I'm looking at this report, this assisted conversions report in analytics, because you sent that UTM parameter through the short Bitly link on an ad that was clicked, I can see that I can track that in my analytics and know that I'm getting either direct conversions or assisted conversions. I'll let that sit in for a second and while I pause. So let me say that again. I can tell where it helps in the conversion process. Now, many times, the retargeting ads, especially display ad network, it barely ever creates direct trackable conversions. Let me say this again, and I've said this during one of the interview trainings with Patrick. Display advertising, when you use it with retargeting, so you're retargeting somebody, traffic fuel is pixeled somebody, and then they start to see the display ads or the video ads across the web in those sections. I'm going to say it again and again and again that most of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, you're not going to see direct conversions from it. However, because I study how the traffic comes into someone's website, we know that they're still getting first touch traffic and helping with conversions when the conversion might be attributed to another traffic method. So Google search. So if you see the banner ad a bunch of times, all the different banners through a 10x retargeting funnel, but then you finally are ready to purchase what they happen to sell. In this case, it's HVAC system. So they might go, I need a heat pump. So they still Google heat pump, whether or not, and they could either click through by our Google AdWords ads. They'll see an ad after they Google, heat pump cost maybe. And then they'll see the brand name and they may recognize it. It may help to recognize because of all the other display retargeting that was done in Traffic Fuel. So yeah, they might not click through to create the conversion, but it helps with the conversion on other traffic methods. So it goes hand in hand. There's no way to get around that. And so that's why I created this video, is that the importance of setting up, there's 3 things here that you need to set up correctly, and it needs to be set up before you start running ads. Let me show you the first thing. First thing is setting up your goals. You may have multiple goals. Let's see here if I can just show the top level goals here. Cancel here so you can see all of them. Okay, so we set up basically 4 goals. Typically there's 3 that are set up, but here's how it works. First one, we call this view more. It really should be the contact us page. It's higher up the traffic funnel. It's higher up the funnel. It's more the bucket of people that visit the website, visit the contact us page, and then send a contact request. So that's not, to me, it's a destination goal type. It's also an event goal conversion, meaning they went to the contact us page to reach out to the business, but it's not a higher level goal, which is if they call, because we use call rail for call tracking. If they call one of the call tracking numbers, or if they use the form that that tracks, there's a drop down in the form that are on all pages that say, you can schedule an appointment to get a quote, or you can schedule an appointment to get service. So a lot of times maybe they need service on their HVAC system. And when they call in, we're tracking all of that. Call rail has its own pixel. I won't get into it. Basically, you can track it, then connect that actions and all the data in the call rail system. You can connect it to Google Analytics. When you set up all this correctly, you now can track all those different goal conversions. Those goal conversions then can be matched to where where that traffic came from, and then also what they consider assisted and direct or last click conversions. And I won't get into this because that's a whole different lesson set of understanding how multi-channel funnels work and how direct and assisted conversions, you can use that in your analysis and in your reporting and in your optimization of your conversion funnel. You can optimize your ad copy or your advertising messaging, or you can optimize your traffic to help in certain stages of the conversion. So basically what I'm saying is you can improve your top of the funnel traffic. So maybe that, hey, let me show you this. So maybe I know I'm getting lots of conversions from this, and it's really feeding it, so I can add more money to that, or I can do a test to improve even more through the different ad steps. Gosh, what am I trying to say? My voice is going. There's a lot going on here. If you have any questions, feel free to pop in. But so, what are the 3 things? Okay, so going backwards, let's go back to what I talked about, the importance of kind of building everything out in a spreadsheet, or what I call my campaign worksheet storyboard, so that you have everything complete before you enter into the network. The second part is using UTM parameters to send trackable and usable data on each ad creative or ad content. And then, anyways, I lost my train of thought here. Let me pause. Okay, so I apologize, I lost my train of thought. Basically, UTM parameters is just one step in the setup of being able to really truly utilize analytics to help with improving traffic campaigns. But you can't track effectively, or you can't analyze data effectively if you don't feed the analytics system the data correctly. Meaning, if you don't have those pieces and if you don't have certain things in place, and you're not tracking and define the different steps, then you can't analyze data that isn't being fed correctly. I hope that makes sense. Basically, if you don't have, you got to have a handful of things. I have a 67-step checklist, or 67-point checklist on setting up a company website's Google Analytics and tracking goals a checklist that I go through. It takes quite a while. It can take up to a full day sometimes if it's not organized on the client end. But once we do have everything set up, when we utilize this process of the UTM parameters and put it into our links, that's our link tracking. So the link, going back to my link tracking method, by building, you can build it a ton of different ways. There's apps or websites online where you can, or the Google UTM builder that does exactly what I have here in a spreadsheet. I just happen to program the code up here to pull it in so that while I'm building it here, I can get it all done in the spreadsheet and either hand this off to an outsourcer and say, okay, I give them a video and saying, here's what you need to do now. Take all the ads that were created, upload them here, and this is how you do it. And so this is sort of our, again, this is like our storyboard or our worksheet to work from. And I've always worked from things like this before in other agencies because we try to stay organized. I have it for social covers. I have other tabs here. This just gives me the programming logic for doing this 11x. We call it 11x, the 10x retargeting funnel concept is not new. We were doing it in Facebook and Google. So this is the tab that helps me just define the logic so I can keep track of how it's built. And it's just copied to every new client account. And the text setup is our checklist of when we do the intake of a new campaign or client. It just it's a work in progress, but it says, what is it we got to do? Here's all the steps. Here's the checklist, and as it gets completed, I have notes and whatnot. It just keeps me kind of on track. And if anybody needs to jump in and do this, they can just look at it and go, okay, where are we at? What's been done? I believe I haven't even. There's a more updated version of this master worksheet template thing that has a couple spots where it identifies who finished and the date it was finished, whatever step or whatever step in the process is done. So going back to this, the link tracking is important for us because we want to know which ad campaign worked or which ad creatives were driving that traffic. Also, it helps us to understand again the total number of direct and assisted conversions from different traffic methods, because at the end of the day, it's not just one traffic method that creates the impression onto the end user or visitor. It's a multitude, and something like the traffic fuel retargeting funnel definitely assists in conversions. It's not responsible for many direct conversions, and it's like I said before many times again, it supports all the other advertising and marketing ways that people reach the brand or learn about the brand. When they see a banner ad after 12 months of seeing all the different types of marketing out there for this company, when they finally need to replace their heat pump or get a new heat pump, when they go to search, because they're not going to go search for the ad, they're going to see paid ads, or they're going to see organic results. And oftentimes the majority of traffic is organic for a company website, but because they're familiarized with the brand over time with other advertising, including the retargeting funnel, possibly, most likely, that's helping, because we see a lift in recognized search, meaning brand search and non-branded, and they click on through to this company, and it provides the conversions on the different goal completions. So if there's any questions, how you want to get this set up for correctly for a client or for your agency, we even have it on one of our landing pages or trust triggers. So we have a local analyzer report, and we track the same kind of steps. Like we track the goal completion if they opted in for getting a report. We track the goal completion if they ask for what's the name? I don't see it. There's another goal complete. Oh, here it is. So in the time period, the first step is they visit, right? And then we have a goal conversion if somebody self-schedules an appointment, so we can track that and know where it came from as well. And then we have, if they go to the next step of, if they submit for Fix My Listings, that creates another event from the local analyzer trust trigger or local analyzer page for the lead page. When somebody clicks on the Fix My Listing sign up, it sends another trackable event for us to recognize and record as a goal conversion in our analytics. So it can be set up for any kind of business. E-commerce is the best, but we need to know how to set this up for our agency, for our landing pages, analyzing our funnel, being able to see what drove the conversion, top conversion paths, how long it takes, what's the time lag from first interaction to converting. We know the first 24 hours is important for nearly anybody, so that's from the time they interact, not necessarily the time they learn about the business. So anyways, this is a long ass video. Let me end here. If you want just a quick overview and look into your analytics for any clients or for your agency, feel free to comment below, and maybe we can work something out just to help out, because I know how important it is to prove things like activity. Like this is still somewhat activity based, but it's very advanced. I'll admit that you can show to a client, hey, we're tracking everywhere that people are reaching your company website and your brand. We're tracking how they reach you. We're tracking which ads, whether it's AdWords, YouTube, or retargeting through a network like Traffic Fuel. We know that we're driving traffic. We're driving conversions. We also know how we're driving top level traffic through our RTB, which is Traffic Fuel. We can tell that's the case. So it's a great way to show proof of concept. It shows, again, proof of return on ad spend and return on investment. And you may not be doing advanced conversion rate optimization or conversion optimization, but should you and when you get to that stage of being able to do that for your own business, your own agency, or for end clients, you need to learn or have somebody set up the analytics correctly to set up the good goal conversions, the different ones that need to be tracked depending on the business. And then third, being able to integrate that correctly in the setup of your ads. So that's the third thing, like integrating it into your workflow, understanding how to build a process around it, understanding how to use things like UTM parameters to assist in tracking and recording that data in analytics so that you can analyze it, so you can report on it to whoever needs to know, like the end client, report it accurately and prove the ROI or prove the marketing is working or at least making an effect. And then third, it provides a longer client retention. So any questions? Let me know. Ed Bisquera, Digital Marketing Strategist. Talk to you soon.